Can I just have you first say and spell your first and last name?
Michelle Smith, Michelle Mich.
And you.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It's Michellesmith.
And then you are the grandmother of Anakin?
Yes, I'm his mom's mom.
Okay. So, when you had kind of heard about this, were you down here? Had she called you? How did you hear about it, and what were you told had happened?
All I know is I was sitting outside on the porch. My daughter called me on the 26th, the same day Anakin died, and she basically said, she goes, Mom? I'm like, yeah. She goes, Mommy, are you sitting down? I'm like, yeah. And right away when she said, Mommy, I was like, what's wrong? You know, what happened? Who am I going to hurt? Who would I have to hurt? And she goes, I have some bad news. Are you by yourself? I said, yeah. Even though my son was on the porch with me, I'm like, yeah, I'm by myself. Why? What's going on? And then she said so fast, she goes, Anakin's dead. And I'm like, what? She goes, I'm like, wait a minute, what? Who, what? And she's all, Anakin. I'm like, what's wrong with Anakin? Is he okay? And she's like, no. I'm like, what's wrong? She goes, your Chewie's gone. And I'm like, what do you mean my Chewie's gone? And she's all, Anakin's dead. And I asked her what happened. She basically said that she fed him, gave him a bath, changed him, and he fell asleep. So she went to go lay him down. She told Daniel, I'm going to take a nap and wake me up in an hour for his breathing treatment. He said, okay. She woke up, she went in the room, and she found that he wasn't breathing and he was non-responsive.
And did she say, because they had kind of talked to that there was trauma to the head, was there something that had happened before? Was there obvious signs or maybe blood or something that kind of pointed out what had happened?
All I know is my daughter, I asked her, I go, well, what do you mean he's not responsive? And she said, no, he died. And I'm like, what do you mean he died? I go, this better not be no kind of joke, because I heard Daniel laughing in the background. I said, well, if he's dead, if Anakin's dead, why is Daniel laughing? And she thought, oh, he's laughing because Megan told him a joke. I'm like, well, this is not time to be joking around or laughing at anything like that. And I know my grandson, he was born 3.5 months early. He overcame so much to be killed by this monster like this. He was, like I said, he was born 3.5 months early. He had his first surgery when he was 5 days old. He had a hole in his intestine. He had a hole in his heart. He had bleeding in the brain. And then he overcame all of that. And for what? Just for Daniel to kill him?
Yeah.
And Daniel, this is the same monster that put on Facebook back in January, anyone know how to kill a baby while in the hospital? And it was reported to CPS. CPS investigated, told Melanie, do not have him anywhere near Daniel or let alone at his house. And what did my daughter do? Run straight to Daniel, took him to Sand Canyon, and that's where he died.
Yeah, and was there something that she said that pointed to he did this? I'm not taking sides. I'm just asking.
All I know is what my daughter told me. That's all I had to go on. And in the back of my mind, it was like, I guess, I don't know if you could call it gut feeling, mother's intuition or what, but there's just something about Daniel. And then from the minute I found out about that Facebook post, I was like, don't leave him alone. Don't leave him alone, especially with Daniel. Because God forbid, if anything happens to Anakin and I find out that it happened at his house, then I'll know who did it. And my daughter's like, oh, nothing's going to happen. And sure enough, unfortunately, this is what happened.
Yeah, and when I spoke with the brother-in-law today, he said that he had watched Daniel take care of him before. He had watched just kind of being the dad to his son, being the dad to Anakin, or the acting dad. And he said that he hadn't seen anything that was wrong. Have you witnessed something else before? I mean, I know you said that Facebook post, but is there anything that would signal that he doesn't like kids or anything kind of out of the box like that?
Oh no, Daniel, when it came to his nephew Jackson, he was like full of life, gung ho, all for Jackson, but he would always fight with my daughter. My daughter would say, I want to spend the night at my mom and dad's house. Daniel would be like, no, you don't need to be over there. my mom wants you at our house. You're coming home with me. And him and his sister would always, whenever my daughter and Daniel would get in a fight, I would always get drawn into their Facebook arguments. And Daniel and Megan would refer to my grandson as the bastard child that's no good that doesn't deserve the name McKie, that he's an inconvenience, and inconveniences need to be dealt with, and they know how to deal with them in their family, that they need to get rid of it. And I'm like, no, this is not right. And this monster, honestly, I feel that he had brainwashed my daughter. Because my daughter was always, before she got with him, she was always, like, gung-ho, let's do this, let's do that, family this, family that. And ever since she got together with him, it's all about Daniel and his family. And the last time I got to see my grandson was, I would say, about like a week before the 14th of February. And I got to hold my grandson for a whopping 7 minutes. And then Megan comes in and goes, come on, Melanie, we got to go. We have to go, and we have to go now. And she's like, well, I want to go to my mom's house. No, you're not going. We're your family, not them. And that was the last time I ever got to see or hold my grandson.
Yeah.
Which is this one right here.
Yeah.
That one.
So, kind of hearing all about it, and you said that it was kind of that instinct that you knew once you had heard the news and where he was, kind of thing. What makes that instinct pop in? Why did you think that?
Just the like all the arguments that they've had, and the whole time my grandson was at Children's Hospital, I was there from day one until Daniel went and told the hospital a bunch of like BS lies about me and stuff, and got me thrown out of the hospital. I was there for 2 weeks straight while him and my daughter were down here running around, bouncing from house to house. And it's like I was more mom and dad to Anakin than her or her boyfriend. And I was always having to go, like, I was the go-between between my daughter and Anakin's real father. And the real father is just totally irate about the whole situation.
Yeah.
And it's like he's wanting to step in and say, hey, that's my son, wants to claim him out of the morgue, but yet the state of California says that he has no right because he's not on the birth certificate. And now all of a sudden my daughter's wanting to do a cremation, and she wants a rush job on the cremation. And that's not my daughter. My daughter's always, no, I'm never going to burn my baby. That's my baby. And she's even told my daughter numerous times, I don't want him burned. And then just to turn around yesterday afternoon, go in and sign papers for indigent and telling the county go ahead and cremate him and get it done as soon as possible. And she's been hiding she hid basically the first 10 days my grandson's been gone. She was hiding. She wouldn't step up and take responsibility. And now I had to find out from a Facebook message from Channel 29 saying that it was a homicide. Kern County Sheriff, Kern County Coroner, neither one of them could come forward and tell me, hey, this is what's going on, it was a homicide. But yet, I have to find out, like I said, through a messenger message from Suzette from Channel 29. And I'm like, well, this is not right. So, I mean...
Is there anything else that you want to tell us maybe about interactions with Daniel that maybe that would make you think even more that he did it or that he was involved somehow?
Just the way he would treat my daughter, and he would just like the Facebook conversations between him and his sister, calling my grandson like a bastard child and saying that he's not worthy of the McKie name. And I told him, I go, every time he'd say, like, well, he doesn't deserve the McKie name, I said, well, why is it that you're the one that demanded that my daughter put your name on the birth certificate? That my grandson has your last name. I go, if anything, my grandson deserves to have the last name Ball, which is his father's name. And he's like, well, no, that guy doesn't deserve crap and this and that. And I'm like, no, my grandson deserves to know who his real father is. And when my grandson gets old enough, I'm going to tell him. Whether you want me to or not, I'm going to tell him, hey, look, your dad's name is da-da-da-da. And he just kept saying no. And just by keeping my daughter and my grandson away from us, those right there, back in my mind, were red flags. And I even told Detective Kimmel, I'm like, you know what? I think my grandson was murdered. Just gut feeling, I think he was murdered because I mean, Daniel puts this Facebook post, or Facebook thing on Facebook. Then he turns on and denies it. And as soon as CPS questions him about it, all of a sudden his whole entire Facebook page is deleted. And then he does a whole nother one. And he's saying that 1 minute he's hacked, then he said, oh, I know who did it. And those are the type of things you don't joke around with. Or joke around about, especially when a little innocent baby is involved. So, I mean, my grandson wasn't old enough to speak up. And I mean, he didn't even have a chance to fight back. So, I mean, I don't know why this monster did this, but I just hope and pray that, I know he's gonna have to live with it for the rest of his life. And, I believe that there were other people in the home that were there at the time, and honestly, I feel that they should be held just as much responsible, if not, have the same thing done to them. Even if it means my daughter being arrested, so be it. I mean, that's my baby. She's my firstborn. I don't want to see anything like that happen to her. But she allowed it. One way or another, she allowed it. Whether consciously or subconsciously, she could have gotten out. She could have said, hey, Paula, this is what's going on, sis. Or, Mom, come get me. I mean, she's even had deputies up in Tehachapi say, hey, call me. If you need help, call me. Here's my number, call me. No matter what time of day or night.
Not just that, there was 2 kids in the house.
Yeah, why did my grandson have to be the one to deserve to die? When there was a 2-year-old in the house?
How come one got hurt and not the other?
Flesh and blood. That's why.
I don't know, but they all should be arrested.
Exactly. They all should be arrested, and the other child needs to be taken into custody, into CPS care, is the way I feel.
The little one and the baby.
No, only Jackson was in the house at the time.
It doesn't matter. If she has 2 kids, they should be both taken away.
But that's up to the law, Mia.
Mel, Megan, Larry, and Daniel, they should all be in jail.
Yeah, and then a lot of things don't add up because, according to this, the Kern County Sheriff's public information thing I got from the reporter from Channel 29, it says that my grandson was pronounced dead around a little after 2 p.m. My daughter said that she didn't discover my grandson until 3-something.
Yeah, 3, almost 4.
And Megan didn't call 911 until almost 4, and I didn't get the call until almost 5 o'clock.